Auto delivered a rather subdued quarter 4 set of numbers. The FY17, though, was strong with a double-digit revenue growth. If not for this quarter 4, the year would have looked much better. We have with us Mr. Anmol Jain, the MD of the company, who joins us. Hi, Mr. Jain. Thanks so much for joining in. There's a bit of a degrowth in terms of the top line. Can we attribute that entirely to demonetization impact? And going ahead, what kind of a revenue growth can you give us for FY18?
Good morning, Nigel. Yes, in terms of Lumax Auto Technologies, we did have a muted growth for the year. This was predominantly because of the demonetization. As you know, this company's two-wheeler segment is quite substantial. Almost close to 45% of the revenues of this company comes from the two-wheeler space. It was quite badly impacted in Q3, and the recovery was only in Q4. So that was the primary reason because of which we did not have a top-line growth. But I'm happy that on the bottom line, we still performed better than expected, and at the EBITDA, we still grew by double-digit year-on-year.
Okay. Q1 FY18, that's the current quarter. Should we still see some impact of demonetization? What are you forecasting? How have the first 2 months been?
Well, we feel that the demonetization impact is almost over. The normalized volumes have again come back. And for the current year, again, going forward, in terms of Lumax Auto Technologies, I don't anticipate a very strong growth. It should be in the industry average of about close to 3 to 5%. Is that the sense I'm getting in terms of the industry numbers? Specifically, the 3 and 2-wheelers would continue to be muted. However, in terms of margin, we would be expanding our margins by close to anything between 150 to 250 bits.
Okay, so just let me repeat. FY18, you expect the company growth to be similar to that of the industry, which is in a range of 3 to 5%, with a margin expansion of 150 to 250 basis points. This is the FY18 guidance.
For Lumax Auto Technologies,
yes.
Consolidated, yes.
Okay, what is the reason for such a slowdown in FY17? Despite the demonetization impact in the second half, you still clocked in a double-digit revenue growth. What is the reason for this low single-digit guidance in FY18?
Well, there have been some statutory requirements by our customers due to which certain divisions of the company would be actually looking at a reduction in the revenue. So consolidated, we are looking at a muted growth perhaps because it is a very diverse set of products, very diverse cities. Some of them will have a very strong growth, but consolidated, we are looking at growth in line with the industry.
All right, Anmol, if you could tell us, you're talking about 150 or 200 basis points expansion. Is that going to be driven by the lighting business? I think currently close to 30-35% of your revenues coming from the lighting business. What's the margin there? How much will it increase to?
Well, the growth on the bottom line would be driven pretty much by all the different segments, not specifically just lighting. For example, the aftermarket would be gearing up for a much aggressive and stronger position in the current FY. Also, the electrical, the SMT line, with better capacity utilization and as well as better offtake for the LED requirements of lighting in the other company, Lumax Industries, we should be looking at a strong growth. And also the Lumax Cornaglia joint venture, which is predominantly in the emission space, would also be doing great order book with the new models, the new engines which are kicking in because of the new regulations. So I would say there is no specific division on which the bottom line growth would be dependent on, but I think all divisions are performing much better than the last FY.
Okay. Anmol, let me come back to that earlier point. You said that there are certain statutory requirements because of which certain units would be shut for the company. Is that only going to play out in FY18? Is it a one-year impact that you see it completely play out in, or will it spill over into FY19 too?
So let me elaborate on that. Bajaj Auto is the largest customer for Lumax Auto Technologies, contributing close to 35% of the revenue.
Okay.
One of our facilities, which is dependent on Bajaj Auto, where we make the lighting and plastic products. Currently, the arrangement is that we buy a lot of tier 1 products, which are high value, from other tier ones, and we just simply do an assembly and then bill the same price into our invoice price to the customer. Going forward, they would supply those high-value items to us FOC, free of cost. Hence, my sales revenue would drop. However, the bottom line would remain intact. So from that sense, the margins would automatically expand, but I do lose out on the revenue booking to the tune of almost 100 crores.
Oh.
So no, that is not a one-time thing. That's a in-principle decision which Bajaj has taken across all its suppliers, and that's going to continue for the years to come. But again, it's a notional entry. It's just a loss of revenues, but it's not really loss of volume. The capacity utilization would still remain the same as before.
All right, Anmol, just wanted to ask you, I was looking through your presentation, you have some exports as well as part of your revenues. How much is it currently?
In Lumax Auto Technology?
Yes.
Lumax Auto Technology's totality, the exports would be close to 15 crores. That's what we did.
Oh, it's a very small part.
Yeah, very small part. It's predominantly a domestic company, but going forward, we do have some plans on expanding.
All right. All right. Final question from my end. Dividend payout has been quite healthy, I think at around 20%. Looking to maintain that?
In terms of the, what was that again, 20%?
Yeah, dividend payout. The dividend payout ratios has been more than 20% in the recent past, in the last few years. Are you looking at maintaining it at those levels?
Yeah, we have a dividend policy. We try to maintain a dividend payout of minimum 35%. And in both companies, we would continue to go with that.
Okay. Why did you shut your plant at Waluj in Aurangabad?
Well, it's a part of the strategy and to get our fixed costs down and to improve our efficiencies. It's been an old plant, so from that perspective, we've just moved the revenue to another plant which is more efficient, where we have a higher sense of robotics and automation. And in the long run, we have to take some hard calls in order to improve our margins. So that was a strategic decision which was on the anvil.
Thank you, Anmol, for joining in, and all the best coming ahead.